Do you love the Tabernacle Choir? This year, the choir's music is everywhere you are. Listen to your favorite choir songs and music and the spoken word anytime you want on Alexa by simply enabling the skill.
Alexa, play music in the spoken word.
Now playing music in the spoken word.
You can also download the Tabernacle Choir app, subscribe to the choir on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and have access to all their wonderful music. Happy listening.
This Open Championship update is presented by Copper Rock, where the pros play on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Brian Taylor, Bob Casper's appearances are brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, Mountain Supply, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and Uinta Golf. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. I wore my special hat just for the Open Championship edition, just for you guys.
Nice.
Tip of the cap to you, PK.
Okay.
Royal Birkdale hosting the Open Championship. So I immediately think fog, wind, sideways rain, and then I click on the forecast, high 60s to low 70s, 10-mile-an-hour winds. Is that enough? And very little chance of rain. Is that enough to defend, for this course to defend itself? There's not a lot of trees and all that. Or is it now going to be wide open and guys are going low?
It's going to be a scorcher over there. Talked to our friend from the BBC, and he said it's just been an absolute heat wave over there, that it's pretty much burnt out. It's going to, I think, play a lot like Royal Liverpool in 2006 when Tiger went around there hitting all of his stinger iron shots, 350 yards, running down the fairway, that kind of thing. Although you don't have to necessarily hit it that long here this week at Birkdale. But, the rough was much thicker a couple weeks ago, and it's just kind of like burnt out a little bit from the dryness. So it's going to play that firm, fast, kind of links style golf, but it's going to be more precision, less bomber. When listening to some of the player interviews and talking with our friend over at the BBC, sounds like, long irons off the tees, long irons into the greens, guys that are good long iron players, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, those are guys that are, certainly come to mind, are going to have a good week.
You said Royal Liverpool, and it reminds me of a story. I don't know that if I shared it with you, but I'm going to now, and I want to see if you can top it as far as playing with somebody. So I told this story a few weeks back. I think it was first part of June. I'd gone to a wedding reception, and this guy recognizes me, the PK thing, so he wants to talk to me. He tells me it was several years back, and he's playing in Orlando, and the sun is going down, right? So he's got his wife with him, and there was two guys ahead of him, and the two guys say, hey, why don't you join up with us? This way you'll be able to finish. So he says, yeah. So they meet up 14 or 15, whatever it is, and they introduce each other, right? And one guy who invited this couple to play that live here in Utah that I saw at the wedding reception, they introduce themselves, and the wedding reception guy says to the other guy, where are you from? The guy says, I'm from Liverpool. And he introduces himself and says, what's your name? He says, I'm Paul from Liverpool.
Is that his radio name?
No, that is his real name, and his last name, you may have heard of it. It's Paul from Liverpool, England, obviously. And his last name, true story here, according to this guy, which I have no reason why he would lie to me, that his last name was and is McCartney. So he played the last few holes in Orlando with a guy named Paul McCartney from Liverpool, England. And yes, it was that Paul.
Really?
Yes. According to this guy, told me this story, and his wife was there, and his wife was this sweet, young-looking gal, innocent, the kind that, we know the state of Utah produces, if you get my drift. And I was floored. I said, I'll never be able to top that story, ever, for the rest of my life. Jay Drew told me a story. He said, oh, that really beats my story. I think he was at U.S. Open, was at Pebble or something. You would know this better than I would, that there was a van that was going to take them from the clubhouse over to the 10th tee. It's apparently a decent walk. And he gets to go on the van, and the guy says, "Oh, this is just for the players." And so he steps back. Well, there's one guy on the van in the van says, "Oh no, you can bring him on," and it's Fowler. And Fowler says, "Bring him on, and we'll drive over." And so he has a little conversation with Fowler, and Jay tells me, "Yeah, that tops my story." And yes, you played several holes with Paul McCartney. That has got to be unbelievable. And I'm thinking even Brian Taylor and Bobby Casper, they can't top that story.
That's a pretty good story. I mean, Paul McCartney, that's got to be like, and you were invited by Paul McCartney to play golf. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't from like, the get go, but
right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Brian, you got to think about
like
this. You've played late in the day, and some people are better at golf etiquette as far as letting groups play through or letting groups join up, and some people aren't as good at the golf etiquette. So you'd be in that situation. You'd be thinking in a tourist town like Orlando, I wonder if these people golf a lot, if they know, are we going to finish our round? That's your primary consideration. And then the group waves you up, and you're like, whoa. And when you walk up, as you walk up, you suddenly realize that you're walking up to join a Beatle. I mean, there's a... Come on.
That's pretty good. I don't know if I could top that one. I mean, I've had a lot of really cool golf experience, but
you'd have to get waved up by Tiger Woods to join Tiger and Charlie. I mean, come on, who could wave you up that has that kind of worldwide fame?
Yeah, the wave up, that's pretty good. As far as wave up stories go, I think that one might top the list. I mean, Paul McCartney, I don't even know, like in my generation, is there anybody that would even like that could even stand up to Paul McCartney?
Everyone I want to throw out there as that big a star is now dead. Like who's a 60-year-old, the 80s, I mean, Jagger would wave you up, I guess.
I think it would have to be Jesus.
I mean, if you got waved up by Brad Pitt, that would be great, but I don't think it tops McCartney.
No.
And Pitt's a pretty big star.
I should have a good story to come back to this one, but you got me on that.
I figured. I mean, I told the guy
the only
that's
one,
the topper story.
The only one that comes to mind is I got invited. I was at Pebble Beach covering the AT&T one year, and we got invited to go play Tahama Country Club, whatever. It's just Clint Eastwood's place that's up on the hill. Mm-hmm. And as we played like the third or fourth hole, the guy that we're playing with, who's a member, says, "We're just going to wait right here. Clint's coming through." And so which is the rule. If Clint comes, you just let him play through. And so we sat there. I'm like, well, this is very exciting. So we sat there and Clint drove through and he thanked us for letting him go. And he went up in his tee shot and away he went. So that was probably, I don't know, maybe the only celebrity kind of similar type thing.
That's a really good one, Brian. And yet it doesn't match McCartney. And it's really good.
No.
It tops Fowler. No. Take Clint Eastwood over Fowler, and Fowler's a great story.
My neighbor, who is a golf pro, that's a fact. He's since moved, but he still is a golf pro, and he's what's the one that has the 3 nines out on the west side?
Stonebridge,
yeah. And so he was up at Glen Wild, and that it was understood that if Jordan was there, that he played through. And my neighbor, this golf pro, was in the fairway, and a ball comes shooting by between he and his partner, and down comes a guy in a cart, and it's MJ, and he just drives right on through. He doesn't
even ask.
No, according to my neighbor, and I have no doubt, no reason to doubt him. Yeah, and that was understood at Glen Wild that when and the members, I was there, I've played it. And it was understood that you didn't talk to him. So if you saw him on the grounds, you just let him go. He wasn't there to socialize. So that was kind of a little bit of your Clint Eastwood thing. Now, I didn't experience that. You saw it yourself. But my neighbor, who I believe him, told me that story. And I think that kind of that's at least ballpark. But still, Paul takes the cake.
Right.
What if your favorite way to unwind could actually reward you? With Mistplay, it can. Stop scrolling social media for nothing. Mistplay lets you earn points just for discovering and playing mobile games. Redeem them for gift cards from brands you love simply for doing what you already do to relax. Download Mist Play today and make your downtime more rewarding.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
All right, as far as Royal Birkdale there, Scheffler just missed a cut. The streak is broken. Does that mean he's playing bad golf? Was he just unfortunate and he could still win this week? Would you wave off picking Scheffler this week? What do you think of Scotty's chances?
He's done. He's done. His window's closed. So he's finished. He's washed up. Yeah, I mean, you can't miss cuts at the Scottish Open and still claim to be the best player in the world, right? Right, PK?
Yeah, right.
Come on, back me up on this.
There's no question about it. He's a has-been. But then I got McIlroy saying that he's bad at golf.
Yeah. He said that to himself and yelled it out loud how bad he is, right? Let me say this. Golf is to make 78 consecutive cuts at the highest level. It's not anything near what Tiger Woods did. It's not Byron Nelson, but it is unbelievable in today's day and age. It's just so hard to do. That shows the consistency in which Scotty has been playing at. I'm fascinated with golfers' windows. We've had this conversation over the years, but I'm fascinated. And Jordan Spieth is front and center this week because he was the last to win here in 2017. And so you start looking at where he has gone, and then you look at what Scheffler's been doing and all of the windows that have sort of been there in the meantime. I mean, look at what Rory did, and then his window opened up again. And then you look at Brooks Koepka and Bryson, and, there's all these players that look unbeatable for a period of time. And it's how long will that window stay open? And it always harkens back to the incredible run that Tiger Woods had. And even going back in the generations in Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer and some of these guys where they were able to compete at a high level and win prolifically for, generations, for decades, if you will. And so when Tiger had a decade, that's a long time. And he was dominating for a decade. And some of these guys, their window lasts a year. Some of them it's 3 or 4. Some of them it's 8. But so Scotty Scheffler, I don't think the window. So to that, using that as the context, I don't think his window is ready to close. I think a missed cut isn't something that you would say, let's judge Scotty's game. What you would judge Scotty's game is the fact that he opens up with a 63 in his first round at Amex and goes on to win shooting 30-something under in his first event. And then he has a slew of runner-up finishes and hasn't won since. I mean, that's kind of where you go, that's odd for a guy that's been winning 5, 6, 7 times a year the last few years. Having said that, it adds to his great play. He's still leading the tour in strokes gained, scoring average, and all of the major statistics. So it's hard to say that he's having an off year. He just isn't getting the dubs that he had last year. I wouldn't count him out. He's looking to become the first to go back-to-back at the Open Championship since Padraig Harrington did it in 2008 right here at Royal Birkdale. So I love it when stats combine, and we'll see what happens there. But I think Scotty's hungry. A missed cut might have been just what he needed. Some of his comments in his presser this week was talking about being recorded all the time and the pressure that comes along with that. And sometimes you just need to get out of the spotlight a little bit and be able to have some room to breathe. And so it's hard. It's not easy being the top guy all the time with all the attention. And a lot of guys haven't been able to do it for as long as Scotty has. And maybe it's getting to him a little bit. Maybe a missed cut is just what he needed.
I can relate to that specifically because when it comes to picking guys winning, I'm the top guy. And having the attention on me all the time when I pick last every year, the burden every time, 4 times a year to follow up on it like I just did at the U.S. with Wyndham Clark. I can relate to Scotty, is what you're saying.
Wait, you picked Wyndham Clark to win the U.S. Open?
Mm-hmm. He did.
Which pick? 1, 2, or 3?
3, the 9th pick.
That's still pretty good, though. That's a good 9th pick. I'll give it to you. I'm not in on your picks, so you know what? I'll give you a golf clap for that. That's a good one, PK.
And I feel bad for Bob because he came from a golf family, and he just can't compete with me.
Oh my!
Can you imagine that?
This seems like a good time to talk about this being the 50th.
It's not a good time to talk about it. He went away. He's on a computer. For those of you who are streaming, you know this, and there's now a black screen in the middle third. I'm on one side, you're on the other, and he vaporized. He's gone.
Well,
not a good
if
time.
it wasn't going to be a good time to talk about me, the computer gods didn't want to hear it.
That was it. Now back to PK. PK, tell us more about your greatness.
Well, you just go with it and you think about it and you ponder it and you do research. And you got to make sure the analytics match up with your gut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then once you do, you say, well, what the heck? I'll pick Wyndham Clark. And then it happens, and then you taunt the other guys. This is 1986 all over again. When the Devils went to the Rose Bowl and I was living in California. And I had just moved there. And who is this outsider coming in here taunting us? But go ahead, Brian.
Brian, that was not
Sorry
the
about
perfect
that.
time. Yeah, okay.
That was perfect timing for a phone call to interrupt our anyway.
Okay.
So Johnny Miller 50 years ago won at Royal Birkdale. He beat a 19-year-old Seve Ballesteros and Jack Nicklaus. Raymond Floyd was the reigning Masters champion. He was right there in contention with others. Really good stuff. By the way, if you want to go back and watch, the RNA has the video that you can watch from the 76 Open, which is pretty cool. And to watch these guys out there, and you could tell that Seve was going to be a star at 19, right? He still had all those shots. But the reason why it's a good time to talk about it, first of all, to honor Johnny, which is awesome. 25 wins, I think, on the PGA Tour, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship. I mean, that's awesome. What a career. And then the broadcasting and all that. But in his acceptance speech of the Claret Jug afterwards, which they always do in front of the people with the microphone, this is so PK, so Johnny. I can't even, it just is so funny. But he stands up and he says, I would like to congratulate Seve and Jack on their runner-up finish. Sorry, that was, and then he doubles down and he says, and I'd like to thank the rest of the field for making it so easy on me. I mean, if there wasn't a more Johnny Miller thing said, I don't know where you're going to find it. But first of all, Seve probably really appreciated a star like Johnny recognizing him as a 19-year-old. But Jack, do you think Jack wanted to be congratulated on his runner-up finish in a major at that point in his career? I don't think so.
All right, I got a Johnny Miller little story. So I go down to the Phoenix Open and Waste Management, and that was Johnny's last broadcast on that Friday. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So I went down there, and I got a press pass, and so I go to his press conference, and I talk to him afterward, and he says, "Oh man, I really like listening to you when I'm in town." He says, "You remind me of me."
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
He literally said that to me. And I've told you this, Brian, that Johnny Miller was my golf hero growing up. And so that was for him to say that. It was funny and it was cool. And we did talk a little bit. He had a little formal press conference. And then afterward, because I asked him a question and you had to introduce yourself. And when I did, he says, "Oh, yeah, I listened." So I went up to him afterward. But I thought, and then you bring that up. You connect us, and Johnny connected us himself.
Well, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, I took it as a compliment. Yeah. And obviously, as a golfer, he was awesome. And as an analyst, he was awesome, too.
He was the best. Honestly, I miss Johnny on the call.
I agree.
I love Kevin Kisner. He's great, right? You think about Faldo, what he did for a long time. There's been good analysts, but none like Johnny.
Right,
and
it's like the guy who tried to
people
follow Vin Scully. I mean, I'm sure he's good, but he's not Vin Scully.
Right. And there's a lot of people that didn't like Johnny because he would, like PK, likes to weave himself into the story a little bit and that kind of thing. But it compels you to watch. It compels you to listen. And I just, and here's the thing. His book was called I Call the Shots. he did call the shots, and sometimes it made him look silly because he would say, "Hey, this one, you could choke on this shot right here," and people would be like, "Oh, Johnny, why'd you say that?" And then the guy would, or he'd pull it off, and then Johnny would say, like people would say, "See, Johnny, you didn't choke," but I think from a viewer standpoint, and for those that know that have been in those situations, when he's pointing that out and then the pro pulls the shot off, I think it's more of a compliment to the shot he just hit because he set it up as being more difficult than it was. And so, or he set up the scene of what could actually be going on inside. And when someone's able to overcome that and execute the shots under pressure, look, Johnny dealt with pressure as much as anybody. In fact, it kind of ended his career. The putter just wouldn't cooperate at the end of his career, and he just couldn't make the putts, couldn't make the pressure putts, and that happens. It happens to everybody, and so he understands pressure and choking and all that kind of stuff, and he would point that out, and it's a real thing. Yeah, for the everyman, for those of us like me that play country club golf and don't compete on a regular basis, and all of a sudden you go out for one weekend, and like we did at our senior club champ last weekend, and you start feeling it, and you get nervous, and you make a bogey, and you can't stop it, and you make 2 double bogeys to follow, and you go, "Holy cow, what the heck just happened here?" Like literally, what happened? How come my hands feel all weird? How come my mind's racing? How come I can't even, I went from hitting it great to not even knowing how to play this game. It's a different deal altogether. And so for those that play regular tournament golf, they feel it, they love it, they thrive on it. And one of the coolest things is that when you start to feel those feels and you can actually execute and perform in the middle of it, that's a really cool feeling. And these guys do it at a completely different level than what we do for those of us that are listening right now and talking right now. So Johnny was great. I loved his calls. I didn't get a chance to watch him play golf. I was too young at the time, but it was cool to go back. I highly recommend go to the Open Championship, go to the RNA, or just go to YouTube and search 1976 Open. And Peter Allis is the commentator. He's fantastic. Just one of the all-time greats, and it's a cool watch.
You talk about playing the game at different levels. There are many of us who are petrified if we have to tee off in front of 10 people. The thought that there would be 10,000 people lining both sides of the fairway and 10 million people on TV, and the fact that we might kill one of those 10,000 people when we spray a drive all the places we spray them, it is not the same thing. It's not remotely the same thing.
No, and I was one of my first Masters that I went to see Sam Snead hit the ceremonial opening tee shot. And Sam was in his 80s, right, or something. It was close to 80 if he wasn't in his 80s, and he just sniped it right in and just right through the glasses of a spectator, about 50 yards down the fairway. And, he felt terrible. That was his last one. And the guy, first of all, if you are in those situations, don't lean your head in looking straight down the barrel of a guy that's about to tee off, But yeah, it happens. People hit people, players hit people all the time, but yeah, it's a cool thing to watch these guys perform, and the way that they have to just get so callous. Sometimes we knock these guys as being calloused as professionals, but they have to somewhat be calloused, because if you're as emotional as we get about making a birdie, or as emotional as we get or down on ourselves for making a bogey, it just wears you out. And every once in a while it comes out, like you pointed out, PK. You see Rory yell at himself, "You're so bad at golf." Well, you know what? Sometimes that it just spills over. Sometimes it goes into Sergio mode, and that's unfortunate. Sometimes it goes into Wyndham Clark mode, and that's unfortunate. But for the most of the time, these guys hold their decorum pretty well, and they're a pretty pressure-packed sport. So,
Brian, we'll leave it right there. We'll draft with Bob, and then we'll talk to you again as the tournament gets underway on Thursday, and you can judge all our draft picks.
Take Matt Fitzpatrick. He's my pick this week. I like him.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you, boys.
All right, DJ and PK. I wonder if we can take Matt Fitzpatrick. Ooh, I can't. I've already drafted him this year.
I can't.
Yeah, you've picked him also. So, Bob also took him. Matt Fitzpatrick is off the board. None of us can draft him. We only draft him once a year.
But I drafted him when he won the U.S. Open.
All right. DJ and PK will come back with everything you missed in this show next. Stay with us.